Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jennifer Jeffries, the present day wise woman, a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This podcast is for those who are wanting to really rock their lives and health and live from a place of prevention. Let's get into today's episode. Did you know that it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back to a task once you are distracted? 23 minutes and 15 seconds. That's crazy. Putting it into real life. Imagine you are, whether you're, working on something at work, or you're homeschooling the kids, or you're busy doing emails, or you're busy cooking dinner, whatever it is, you're doing something and there's an interruption. When that comes in, it takes you 23 minutes and 15 seconds to come back on task. The things that are the most distracting to us nowadays are our phones. It's our phones. And if you're like me, mine is with me 90% of my day. It's on my person. I run my life from my phone, but I make it work for me instead of against me. So whether it's a ping that's coming from a call, an incoming call, or an app going, ding, you need to look at this, or social media, or any of those things, that's what's taking people off track the most and putting them into overwhelm. And I'm all about living from a place of prevention, as you know. So I set up things, and this is a practice I put into my life before mobile phones were invented. I did. Well, no, actually, no. I got my first mobile phone 27 years ago. 1993, I got my first mobile phone. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. 27 years ago, I got my first mobile phone. So no, mobile phones were around, but we didn't use them like we do today. But right back then, 20 years ago, it was a novelty for the first year or so. I admit that. But we didn't do emails or anything like that. A phone was just a phone. It was a very different critter to what it is now. But 20 years ago, when I started to really consciously teach preventing burnout in the workplace around the world, this was a practice I put into place for me to help stop me from going into overwhelm, because I get messages across all the time zones around the world, because I usually work all around the world. So imagine it's, in my life previously, it would be nearly bedtime, but it would be wake up time in another part of the world or something like that. And I'd get a message and it would be like, oh, I'll just do that message, because, there's what has become with mobile phones and smartphones particularly has become that sense of urgency that we have to deal with everything straight away. And in my podcast where I talked about urgent versus important, I really talked about the fact that, we're allowed to do the whole ASAP, which is get back to people as soon as possible to be able to deal with things, instead of just going on this boom, 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 cranking it out all the time and not getting time to be and being off track more than we're on track. So this is something I consciously brought in for me to help me not go into overwhelm. And the reality is, will the world end if you don't answer a phone call immediately? Will the world end if you don't answer, a ping from an app or a social media or something like that? No, it won't. It really won't. But we let ourselves be ruled by it, and we lose productivity and we go into overwhelm because we're taken off track. We're distracted, and it takes us 23 minutes and 15 seconds to come back on track. It's not cool. It doesn't work for us. So I choose to run my life by my calendar or diary, whichever you want to call it. And I set alarms to help me not be distracted. Now, if you want to ring me, if I haven't got your phone number saved and you don't have an appointment to ring me, I don't answer my phone. And then if the person leaves a message, I get back to them as soon as possible. So my phone is always on silent unless I know I'm expecting a call. And then I have set an alarm 5 minutes before, because I know there's a call coming in for me. That's it. I'm not in overwhelm. I'm not at mercy of my phone all the time. And that just makes such a difference. Now, the same with, like, in my calendar, in my diary, I have set blocks of time every day. Well, the majority of days, because I still have that flexibility where I check my social media twice a day. I check my emails twice a day. I still get everything done, but I do it in a way that works for me. I'm not at the mercy of my device. I stay in control and out of overwhelm by not having notifications and alerts and things on. It works. And I find that without those notifications and alerts, I can power through tasks in set times and just not be distracted. So I'm more productive in the same amount of time or under. So next time you are off track, let's say it happens. So I'm busy doing something else comes in, and my brain is wanting to take 23 minutes and 15 seconds to come back on track. Instead of letting that happen, I can play the game with myself where I can force myself, I can teach myself to return back to my zone of flow in under 20 minutes, for instance. Or maybe as I get going better at it, I can come back into 17 minutes or 15 minutes or 12 minutes. I can bring my attention back sooner. But I really encourage you, what is more powerful is to actually come from the place of prevention and don't let yourself get distracted in the first place. And for me, my absolute number one thing I have done to prevent overwhelm in my life is to turn off all of the notifications and alerts on this device thing. I just don't have them. I run a very busy life through a calendar diary system, and I'll set alarms for when I know I need to be on point for something. And it works. So the healthy life hacks to play with this week there's 3. 1, right now, go and turn your notifications off. I promise you won't die. I promise you'll cope. I promise you really will. You might squirm a bit at first, but I promise it's worth it. Number 2, set alarms for the tasks that you've got lined up in your calendar and diary. If I know I want to check emails twice a day, and I know it takes me 20 to 30 minutes to do that work, I have it as a set repeat appointment in my calendar and diary. So it's there every day. I go, okay, cool. Between 9 and 9:20, I'm checking my emails. Done. Just like that. Simple and easy, clean, time effective, and I don't get the interruptions. And number 3 is if you have gone down that rabbit hole, you've been distracted, instead of letting it take the 23 minutes and 15 seconds like it generally does for most people, play the game to come back to come back to focus faster. And you'll teach your body to go with it. Like I say, the preference, the power move is to actually don't have your notifications turned on in the first place. That's it. It's a quickie, but a really important one. If you're wanting to get a copy of the show notes, head over to healthylifehacks.com.au. And in the next episode, tune in. Make sure you subscribe so you get to hear where I'll talk about the 4 most powerful words in the world. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed my podcast, please let me know by leaving a review where you're listening in from. Every month, I draw one lucky person who leaves a review to have a free 1-hour consultation with me. If you would like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, simply click the link in the comments below and join my newsletter, and we will get that free ebook sent to you. I welcome your emails, and you can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, remember, when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.